A person with the moon in Cancer in the first house is likely to be welcoming, sensitive, and intuitive. This individual often radiates a nurturing aura, making others feel at ease around them. They experience emotions deeply and commonly enjoy living in their inner world. As for relationships, these individuals value emotional security. They often seek lasting bonds and are fiercely loyal to their loved ones. However, they may also be overly sensitive to criticism and need to guard against becoming moody or defensive. In the realm of careers, they might excel in positions that require empathy and understanding. Potential career paths could be in teaching, counseling, healthcare, or the culinary arts. Jobs that allow them to help others while also expressing their creative side are likely to be fulfilling. While their empathetic nature is their strength, it could also be their challenge. They may need to learn how to establish boundaries to prevent becoming overwhelmed by the emotions of others. Meanwhile, their intuition could aid them in reading situations and people accurately. Ironically, their main personal growth lesson would be to not be excessively reactive to their own feelings. Their perceptiveness and emotional intelligence could be well developed, but they might need to work on not letting their emotions control them. Another growth lesson could be to manage potential dependency on others for emotional security. In all, the journey is about balancing their deep emotional world with the external one. The moon in Cancer in the second house suggests a deeply emotional and intuitive individual who values security, both emotional and financial. They crave stability and are strongly attached to their belongings. They understand how to nurture and care for others, often creating an environment of emotional warmth and safety. In relationships, this placement is associated with a nurturing and protective nature. These individuals are loyal and expect the same from their partners. Communication is vital to them in maintaining strong bonds. However, they can be overly reliant on emotional connections, which can make them somewhat clingy or overly possessive. In terms of career, they can excel in fields where they can utilize their emotional sensitivity and nurturing abilities, such as nursing, psychology, real estate, or culinary arts. They are also likely to be good at managing finances due to their need for security. Strengths of this placement include emotional intelligence, nurturing capabilities, and loyalty. They have a knack for making people feel safe and loved. Their challenges often involve oversensitivity, a tendency to hold on to resentment, and fear of financial instability. To grow personally, they need to learn to let go of grudges and learn to trust themselves and their financial decisions. They must understand that security comes from within, not from material possessions. They need to balance their desire for stability with the ability to take risks when necessary, and understand that change, while scary, can often lead to growth. Having the moon in Cancer in the third house indicates an emotionally sensitive and intuitive personality. The individual may be deeply connected to their feelings and memories, with a sentimental attachment to their past and family. Communication is important to them, particularly expressing their emotions and nurturing others. In relationships, they might crave security and understanding. They likely value emotional rapport and shared experiences, often playing the role of caregiver or confidant. These individuals might struggle with mood swings or oversensitivity, leading to potential conflicts. Career-wise, their empathetic and communicative nature could lead them to professions involving human interaction, especially in caregiving fields such as healthcare, counseling, or teaching. They may also do well in roles that rely on intuition, such as writing or arts. A principal strength of this placement is empathy and emotional sensitivity, allowing them to understand and connect with others deeply. However, this sensitivity can also be a challenge if it spirals into anxiety, insecurity, or avoidance of uncomfortable situations. Balancing emotional openness with self-care is crucial for personal growth. Learning to protect their emotional well-being while supporting others is a key life lesson for these individuals. Harmonizing their intuition with rational thinking can help them make balanced decisions and avoid being overwhelmed by emotions. They might also benefit from learning strategies to manage mood swings and nurture positive relationships. Having the moon in Cancer in the 4th house indicates an individual with a deep emotional connection to home and family. They're nurturing and protective, often drawing comfort from the familiar. Their core personality is deeply sensitive and intuitive, making them empathetic towards others' feelings. In relationships, these individuals are caring and compassionate. They're likely to seek partners who provide emotional stability, as they deeply value security and comfort. They can be nostalgic, often treasuring memories and past experiences, which can sometimes lead to reluctance to let go or move on. Career-wise, their strong connection to their roots may make them excellent in jobs related to home or family, such as interior design or social work. Their nurturing instincts could also make them successful in healthcare or teaching fields. One significant strength is their ability to care for and understand others emotionally, making them good friends, partners, and colleagues. However, their hypersensitivity can lead to mood swings or becoming overly attached to the past, which are issues they often need to address. Moreover, they possess a strong instinct for preservation, which can bring about a fear of change, making adaptability a challenge. A personal growth lesson for them is learning to balance their emotional needs with a healthy level of detachment. They should strive to maintain their emotional boundaries, avoid getting overly wrapped up in nostalgia, and embrace change and growth when it arises. By doing so, they can leverage their innate emotional intelligence and empathy to create a more fulfilling life, both personally and professionally. Having the moon in Cancer in the 5th house shapes a personality that's highly emotional, creative, and nurturing. The individual values emotional connections and seeks emotional stability. They express their feelings through creative ways like art, music, or poetry. They're naturally gifted at understanding, nurturing, and supporting others, especially children or those who are vulnerable. This placement shapes relationship preferences toward security and deep emotional attachment. The individual likely forms strong bonds and is willing to care deeply for their loved ones. It focuses on emotional reciprocation and may be hurt if not received. Responsiveness, empathy, and commitment are sought after in their relationships. In terms of a career, this placement suggests possibilities in fields that employ creativity, nurture, and care. They may excel in roles like teacher, counselor, artist, or caregiver, where their intuition, creativity, and sensitivity to others' needs are appreciated and rewarded. The strengths lie in their emotional sensitivity, creativity, and nurturing abilities. Challenges may include managing intense emotions, especially in relationships where emotional reciprocity might not be met. They may also struggle with overprotectiveness and difficulty letting go. The personal growth lessons involve learning to balance emotions, especially in relationships. They should also learn to direct their nurturance and creativity in ways that don't drain their emotional resources but, instead, enrich their own lives as well as others. Having the moon in Cancer in the 6th house indicates a strong emotional connection to work, service, and daily routines. Such an individual might be profoundly nurturing, caring, and instinctually adept at perceiving the needs of others. They may be driven to professions that involve caregiving, hospitality, or healthcare, where their empathetic nature can shine. Their relationship tendencies could be deeply emotional, protective, and nurturing, contradictory to their need for personal space. Attempts to care for their loved ones might be expressed via practical means, such as cooking, advice giving, or maintaining shared environments. However, this placement also has potential challenges. Emotional well-being can be tied strongly to routine stability. Interruptions may bring distress or worry. They could potentially struggle with insecurities and might often need reassurance. Health issues could be psychosomatically related to their emotional state. This placement provides opportunities for personal growth through learning to balance care for others with self-care, navigating emotional fluctuations, and channeling their sensitive and nurturing nature beneficially at the workplace. Cultivating resilience against instability and learning to handle insecurities can bring out the best in their personality. To summarize, individuals with moon in Cancer in the 6th house might be empathetic, nurturing, and routine-oriented with a natural inclination towards caregiving professions. They need to manage emotional imbalance, induce self-care practices, and harness their skills beneficially for personal and professional growth. Having the moon in Cancer in the 7th house indicates a deep emotional sensitivity and intuitive understanding of others. This person likely prioritizes home, family, and close relationships. They often tune into the emotions of others, which can make them great mediators, but also susceptible to emotional manipulation. In terms of relationship tendencies, they can be nurturing, protective, and loyal partners. They seek emotional security in relationships and can be romantically attracted to caring, understanding partners who provide stability. However, they may also be prone to codependency and need to learn to stand independently. In career, this individual may be well suited to roles involving caregiving, counseling, real estate, or anything that involves handling the domestic realm or nurturing others. Their keen intuition and empathetic nature can serve them well in these spheres. The strengths of this placement include intuition, caring nature, protective instincts, and emotional intelligence. However, the challenges may entail emotional vulnerability, tendencies to take on others' troubles, and a fear of rejection or abandonment. The personal growth lesson here can involve learning to safeguard their own emotional well-being even when caring for others. They need to learn not to lose themselves in relationships, maintain their own identity, and avoid relying excessively on partnerships for emotional security. They may also need to understand the distinction between empathy and absorbing others' emotions without a filter. Individuals with the moon in Cancer in the 8th house are often empathetic, sensitive, and protective. They likely possess a deep emotional understanding, constantly seeking emotional security in their personal lives. Their nature is intuitive, allowing them to perceive and process emotions others might miss. Additionally, their inclination towards caring for others becomes one of their greatest strengths. In the realm of relationships, they are likely to be nurturing and caring partners, providing emotional support and comfort to their loved ones. However, their sensitivity may cause them to become overly dependent on their partners for their emotional well-being, leading to possible vulnerability. In their career, they may excel in roles that require empathy and understanding. Jobs involving counseling, therapy, or social work can allow them to use their innate traits to the fullest. In the business world, their intuition and perceptiveness can be a great advantage. Their emotional depth also brings challenges. Coming to terms with intense feelings may be difficult, and they might struggle with transforming these emotions into growth rather than letting them become destructive. Personal observations and emotional experiences are main sources of learning for them. Overcoming dependence and learning to create their emotional security are crucial growth lessons for them. They should also remember that while it is important to care for others, it is equally important to care for oneself. Their growth journey involves balancing their emotional needs with those of others, learning to provide emotional security without compromising their own, and using their emotional strength positively. With the moon in Cancer in the 9th house, this person tends to be naturally intuitive, sensitive, and deeply caring. They likely value emotions and are attuned to the feelings of others. This can result in great empathy, making them nurturing and protective in relationships. They may possess a strong interest in philosophy, spirituality, or broad societal issues, and may be driven by a desire to explore and understand the world. They might often be the seekers, driven by a need for emotional and intellectual growth. The placement in the 9th house also suggests an open-minded and curious nature, with a likelihood of being attracted to travel and adventures. Learning and experiencing new cultures could be a vital source of emotional fulfillment for them. In terms of career, the penchant for learning and discovery might lead them toward jobs in education, law, publishing, or fields that involve travel. Their innate sensitivity can also make them excellent caregivers or social workers. A significant strength of this placement is the person's ability to connect emotionally with others across different cultures and backgrounds. They might also have a knack for absorbing and understanding complex theories or philosophies. However, a challenge might be learning to balance their emotional sensitivity with the intellectual pursuits of the 9th house. They could struggle with oversensitivity or be prone to emotional overwhelm. Personal growth may come from learning to navigate their sensitivities while also pursuing intellectual expansion. Broadening their worldview can help them to better understand themselves, others, and their place in the world. Overall, the moon in Cancer in the 9th house can make for an emotionally rich, adventurous, and intellectually fulfilling life. The moon in Cancer in the 10th house indicates an emotional, empathetic, and intuitive individual who also aims high in their career path, driven by a need for security and validation. Traits commonly associated include deep compassion, strong ambition, and a knack for understanding others' feelings. These individuals apply their emotional intelligence to professional pursuits, making them natural counselors, caregivers, or leaders in people-oriented professions. In relationships, moon in Cancer in the 10th house individuals tend to nurture and take care of their loved ones, often to the point of overprotection. It's a common challenge for them to become overly dependent on their partner or to struggle with separating personal and professional lives. It's important for these individuals to maintain healthy boundaries. This placement suggests a person who thrives in careers that value sensitivity and caring, like healthcare or counseling, yet also has the endurance and ambition to succeed in challenging environments. Their primary career challenge lies in balancing empathy with professionalism, and avoiding being overwhelmed by their or others' emotions. The strengths of this placement include emotional intelligence, ambition, and an innate ability to care for others. The challenges often revolve around emotional tendency to worry, overprotection, and struggle with work-life balance. Personal growth lessons involve learning to balance professional ambition with emotional well-being, setting healthy boundaries, and cultivating emotional independence. Overall, the Moon in Cancer in the 10th house gives rise to individuals who fiercely protect and care for those they love while climbing the ladder of career success. Individuals with the Moon in Cancer in the 11th house have a strong emotional connection to collective concerns. They have an intuitive understanding of public sentiments and naturally gravitate toward issues involving societal well-being. This places them in a unique position to become effective influencers or even leaders in community-oriented organizations. In relationships, these individuals tend to be protective, nurturing, and fiercely loyal. They may form deep emotional attachments to their friends, treating them like family. However, a key challenge is their vulnerability to emotional ups and downs, leading to occasional periods of mood swings or volatility in relationships. Career-wise, they might excel in professions that require empathy, insight, and care such as social work, counseling, or politics. Their strong empathetic abilities can sometimes lead to emotional burnout, so maintaining personal boundaries is crucial. Strengths of this placement include emotional intelligence, loyalty, and caregiving tendencies. Their emotional insight into public sentiment can be a powerful tool if channeled productively. On the other hand, challenges can arise from their emotional sensitivity and tendency to form overly deep attachments. The key lesson for personal growth would be learning to balance their emotional caretaking with self-care. Recognizing when to protect their own well-being is of utmost importance. Additionally, embracing their emotional sensitivity while managing its potential for volatility can lead to personal and professional fulfillment. With the Moon in Cancer in the 12th house, emotional sensitivity is a core personality trait. Individuals with this placement may feel their emotions deeply, often possessing a strong intuition and a great capacity for empathy. These individuals are often introverted, preferring solitude and introspection. They may be drawn to spiritual or mystical themes and may have an unconscious urge to help others. In relationships, they may be nurturing yet hesitant to reveal their deeper feelings due to an inherent fear of getting hurt. They're often drawn to relationships that provide emotional security, showing tenderness and care for loved ones. However, they may need to strike a balance to avoid becoming overly protective or dependent. Career-wise, this placement could point to professions connected with healthcare, social work, or the arts, specifically areas where empathy and intuition are required. Jobs that involve working behind the scenes could also appeal. Strengths include emotional depth, intuition, and the ability to deeply connect with others. These individuals can be great listeners and empathizers, possessing a natural ability to understand people's emotional needs. The challenges primarily revolve around fear of emotional vulnerability and a tendency towards isolation. There may also be struggles with setting healthy emotional boundaries. In terms of personal growth, learning to trust their own feelings, allowing others into their emotional world, and developing effective coping strategies for emotional overload can be transformative. This placement prompts individuals to delve into the unconscious, unearthing hidden strengths and confronting deep-seated fears. Real growth comes from learning to balance their need for solitude with meaningful connections with others.